Okay, so the question we have picked up is, what is the difference between Vedantic meditation and other forms of meditation? The general opinion seems to be that non-Vedantic meditation, such as maybe Omkara Dhyana or breath awareness or sensation awareness, are to silence the mind, or to relax the mind. Whereas Vedantic meditation is to go into witness mode. This is usually one of the opinion. Whereas the other opinion is that irrespective of any forms of meditation, any kinds of meditation, the purpose of meditation is to find peace, to be peaceful, to become peaceful. So this is the general opinion. So now we are reflecting on what is meditation. So what is meditation? Fundamentally, meditation is non-doing. Meditation is not something that you do, but meditation is something that you already are. So meditation is another way to recognize your true nature. So through meditation, you don't become peaceful. Through meditation, you don't become witness. However, the question is, but that is how it starts? No. That is how it is taught? No. So therefore, we are looking at what is the beginning stage. In the beginning stage of any seeker, the mind is depending upon, once again, it depends upon each individual seeker, their own inner maturity. But generally, what happens? The mind is so preoccupied with life-related situations. What happened to me? What will happen to me? What somebody told me about money, about husband, about wife, about children, various situations of life is what is the preoccupation of the mind. So that is the beginning stage of a sadhaka. So in such a state, what is the ultimate recognition? That your very nature is peace. None of the life situations is who you are. You are already Nitya Mukta. You are already liberated. But this recognition can happen only through the right vichara. But when the mind is so occupied with life situations, various illness problems or psychological issues or money problem or children, husband problem or wife problem, so many things, how can the right vichara happen? So right vichara cannot happen. So therefore, in the beginning stages, some practice is given so that the mind becomes prepared enough, silent enough, because the mind has to grasp the message from the Sadguru. And when the Sadguru is talking, the mind keeps on talking about, all this is okay. For you, it may be okay. You are thinking you're so peaceful, you're happy. But my situation of life, you come and deal with my situation of life. So because the mind can battle with all that, the right knowledge is not received. So therefore, to silence the mind, some practice. Okay, watch the breath, watch the sensation, do this japa, do this dhyana, chant this mantra. Can you notice you're becoming a little relaxed? Very good. Now keep doing that. So by giving that instruction, the intention is not to say to the sadhaka that that is the ultimate, that you have to keep doing. Then if you have to keep doing, then where is the liberation? If you have to keep doing to get something, whatever you do and get, how can it be a permanent reality? So it cannot be a permanent reality. So it cannot be that outcome of the doing, whatever that is, cannot be truth. You become peaceful, true, after meditation. but not because of meditation, because that is your very nature. During meditation, you did not get involved with your thought process. During the breath awareness, you simply told your mind, I will come back to the thoughts later. For the time being, you be away. So you continue to focus on breath. Breath has no form. Breath has no particular shape. So in a way, your mind was only simply looking at the sensations of the breath. And it was not trying to give a meaning, which is the way mind interprets every sensation that comes. It was not giving a meaning. So naturally, when you are not involved with your habit patterns of the mind, what is the habit pattern of the mind? To take a thought and to continuously dwell on it and to keep twisting it and to keep thinking about it. Most often, our issues in life are over complicating or over thinking about some imaginary problem in imaginary future. We keep on dwelling on it. What if this happens? What if that happens? That happened to somebody else. What if it happens here also? So most often it is about not the current, not the present, but it's always about something in the past or the future. So the mind keeps on dwelling on it. And during the practice of meditation, whether it is a breath awareness or a sensation awareness or dhyana, or say omkara, or any other such forms, what you are doing essentially, you're keeping all other thoughts away and you are keeping one thought. You're given one thought to your mind. What is that one thought you're given to your mind? Watch the breath. Watch the sensation. Be with the vibrations of the chanting. Be with the Ramanama. You're given one thought to your mind. Same is the approach in Vedantic meditation. However, the difference is the Vedantic meditation is also a pointer to the ultimate. In the non-Vedantic, you might have noticed as you are becoming peaceful, have you noticed that you are there? So even in the non-Vedantic meditation, the idea is to become the witness only. Witness of the breath, witness of the sensation, witness of the vibrations. In the Vedantic meditation, witness of the truth. Because you're still using your mind initially. But the idea is, all of them are pointing to your very nature, pointing to you. Okay, I sat with my eyes closed. I did not have to do anything. I was only watching the breath. How did I become peaceful? I was only watching the sensation. How did I become peaceful? Was there something called as a peace in the breath? If it was there, then even during the breathing, normal breathing, I should have been peaceful. Okay, so it is not the breath. It is the application of the mind. The mind which was focused on so many thoughts was given one thought called breath, called sensation, called a chant. So the mind was not preoccupied with so many thoughts. So what is the realization? The mind is the reason for all my agitation. So then what is the other realization? Then how did I become peaceful? So the mind was continuing to focus on one thought, whatever it was. But how did I become peaceful? Did I become peaceful? No, I've always been peaceful. I am able to notice it better during the practice of meditation. Like how during the day, the moon cannot be seen. Why? Because there is so much of light from the sun. In the night, when the earth has rotated and the sun is not shining directly on the earth, then the moon's presence is felt. Is it that the moon had disappeared during the day? It is always there. I did not notice. Why? Because of the light. Because of the preoccupation with the thoughts in the mind, I did not notice my very own nature. However, my very own nature is peace. My very own nature is completeness. My very own nature is Ananda. Is not clearly established without the vichara. The only way to get established is through vichara, through jnana. Nahi jnanena sadrisham. Why? Because the fundamental illusion is in the way I think about life, the way I think about who I am. Because it's a thought, it's a thinking. Because I have gotten used to the thinking that I'm something else, the only way out of that is through the right vichara. So now when Vedanta is introduced, Vedanta is what? Vedanta is right vichara. Vedanta is right vichara. What is Bhagavad Gita? Right vichara. What is Upadesha Saram? Right vichara. What is Brahma Jnanavali Mala? Right vichara. What is Nirvana Shatkam? Right vichara. What is Prabhuji's talk? Right vichara. All are right vicharas. And when you give space to the right vichara, then even during your other activities of life, the right vichara comes. So somebody comes and insults you. Before any of the right vichara, if let's say you're only some kind of a practice-oriented person, if somebody insults you, you would get involved, you would get sad. And what is the way out of that sadness? Okay, I know that, when I do the Ramana japa, I become silent. Or I have to sit and do meditation, then I will be okay. So I sit. Then little bit you feel relaxed. So what happened there? The root cause is not yet removed. The feeling of insult has not yet been removed. I got insulted. And again, when that thought comes, even during meditation, what comes into your mind? That vichara only. I got insulted, I got insulted. And now you have to put an effort. Go away, go away. So to put an effort, go away. So wherever there is an effort, there is a So you are trying to forget that you got insulted by doing something. This is how before the right vichara is introduced. But with the right vichara, when you come to realize that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, when someone has come and insulted, then what is the right vichara that comes? I am none of this. Right now, the situation I seem to be noticing is where some words are coming at me, which I have the power to interpret, or I have the power to simply notice and let go. So the power of you, which is always there, which is always there, you come to recognize the power through right vichara. You've always been a non-doer. You've never been doing anything. So now, therefore, Vedantic meditation is, initially it begins as a practice. Okay, sit with your eyes closed. Today we will take Brahma Jnanavali. Asangoham, 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 Punah, Punah. Satchidananda Swarupoham, Nirakaroham, Asangoham. Like that, we take some Vedantic truth and we say, today we will keep that. If any other thoughts come, we will contemplate on this thought. Contemplate. Asangoham. Contemplation means what? You are employing the very nature of your mind. What is the nature of your mind? To brood on something. I ask you a question. Do you know how leaf is green? Your mind suddenly fires up. How is leaf green? How it happens? You start thinking, okay, what do I know from my elementary science? If I don't know anything, you'll somehow notice and do something about it, because that's your very nature of the mind. Your nature of the mind is, the power of your mind is to kind of, think about something. It's a natural power to think. So in Vedantic meditation, you're using the very nature of your mind, which is thinking. But what it was using that thinking power for earlier, to brood on aspects of life, issues of life. Now you're giving a Vedantic Asangoham, Asangoham, Asangoham. How are you, Asanga? How am I, Asanga? What does it Asanga means? So you are using the thought. So using the thought, all other unwanted thoughts are anyway going away. And the beauty of the Vedantic thought is such that as you kind of twist and turn and contemplate on that, avyaya. How, Shankaracharya is saying, aham eva aham avyayaha. Avyaya. I'm unspent. How am I unspent? I look at my life, everything is spending only. How am I unspent? How am I ever, I cannot be spent at all. What does it mean? So it's a Vedantic thought. And the Vedantic thought, as you brood on it, as you contemplate on it, as you listen, as you yourself think, then it starts opening up. This is what is meant. So you're employing the very nature of your mind to get rid of its own illusion of separatedness. So Vedantic meditation helps you to initially, with eyes closed, initially to come to the right vichara. And when the right vichara has taken hold of you, then even during an active so-called life situation, in the middle of a heated debate with your husband or wife, or with your mother-in-law, or with your children, or with anybody, or any other situation, illness of, some major illness, whatever may be the situation of life, the Vedantic thought again is there as a right vichara. So whenever you're with the right vichara, you're naturally able to be in that witness. It's not that you become anything else, but when you give a little space in the mind to some other vichara, you seem to be becoming that. The power of you is such that whatever you pay attention to, you become that. It is said, no? You become what you think. So you're constantly thinking, I am a body, I am a mind, I am ill, I am stupid, I am great, I am rich, I am poor. You become that. In the sense of what? You start acting like that. So whatever you give power to in your mind, you become that. So you're giving power to the truth, the Vedantic truth. It is not truth is not Vedantic or non-Vedantic. Truth is truth. But Vedanta gives us the truth. And through vichara, you come to realize, yeah, that is correct. Now it has taken hold of you. So Brahmavid Brahmaiva bhavati. The knower of Brahman becomes Brahman only. Knower of Brahman, in what sense? Through right vichara. Through Vedanta, what are we contemplating on? Nothing but Brahman only. So the Vedanta has started taking hold of lives. Brahmavid, Brahmaiva bhavati. The knower of Brahman becomes Brahman only. So you've used the power of the mind to be free of the mind. Of what? Of unwanted thoughts. Because mind is your intrinsic power. Mind is intrinsic to Brahman. Mind is not separate from Brahman. Mind is not separate. What we need to separate? The thought patterns that come and go in the mind. You are not the thoughts. You have the power to choose your thought. So in that sense, it ultimately, meditation is about non-doing. There is nothing to be done. But depending upon the evolution, begins as a practice. It's all about, in a way, taming or becoming friends with the mind, because ultimately the problem is felt and experienced through the mind. So to transcend the mind, it's not that, you've ever been anything else. You've always been above the mind. But because you got so deeply connected with the thoughts in the mind, you did not see above them. You did not rise above the mind. To help you rise above the mind, initially, it is given as a practice. And by introduction of Vedanta, right vichara is given. And when the right vichara takes firm footing, becomes stable, Aparoksha Anubhuti. I am that only. Always. So, then every activity is a meditation. In what sense? Meditation is about, I am the non-doer. I am non-doer. So there is nothing for me to do. I will not become something else by doing. Is this bringing clarity? Any questions or any statements?
So, I had a question, sir.
Yes, yes.
So Vedantic meditation can lead to samadhi state?
Okay, let's understand this. Samadhi state. State means what? Typically, we think of, I am, for example, as a physical example, I am in the ground floor. Now, if I climb these stairs, I'll go to the first floor. I was in the ground floor state. Now I am in the first floor state. So there is something like a climbing the stairs to reach somewhere. So now state, the idea of a state means what? Okay, it's a waking state. Right now we are in the waking. Now we may be dreaming state. When I am sleeping and I'm dreaming, I'm in the dreaming state. I may be in the deep sleep state. So state indicates a certain time that I am in a certain way. So what it indicates is that only during that time I am in that way. So for example, when you are with your husband, you are in the wife state. When you are with your child, you are in the mother state. When you are with your brother, you are in the sister state. So during that time, you become an active, that particular active role. But if you notice a little, what has happened when you are with your husband? The other roles, other aspects of you have gone to the backstage, but they are already there. That is how the role of the life is. So state, therefore, indicates some kind of a coming and going, not a permanent reality. It is not a permanent reality. The word state indicates. So therefore, I have to do meditation to become peaceful. Is a statement which indicates that I become peaceful if I do meditation. Okay, today I am agitated, so therefore I have to do meditation. Only meditation can bring me peace. So I have built a if, then kind of a logic. If I do meditation, then I become peaceful. So now my peace has become dependent upon me doing meditation. So in that sense, meditation or the peace becomes an outcome of meditation. So samadhi, therefore we have to understand clearly. So samadhi is used in the sense of you are in meditation and there are zero thoughts, no thoughts, perfect samadhi. He sat with his eyes closed and he totally was lost to the world. That is how we usually think of as samadhi. So generally, this is, there's one story that Prabhuji always gives. There was one yogi who sat into meditation, and before sitting into meditation, he asked his disciple to give him a glass of water. And by the time the water was given, they were sitting on the banks of a river. There was a huge flood, and the ashram was flooded, and he could not bring the water to the yogi. And it took almost like 2-3 days. And this yogi was totally lost. He was absorbed in his meditation. So absorbed that for almost 2-3 days, he also did not open his eyes. And after 2-3 days, the water also subsided and the disciple came. And he saw later slowly the yogi open his eyes. And the moment the yogi opened his eyes, the first thing he asked is, where is my water? So what this story indicates, what thought you went into the samadhi with, that thought only continues. What thought you went into the bed with, in the morning, that thought only continues. When you go to the bed with, tomorrow morning, this is what I have to do. The moment you wake up, taka, 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 all these things get downloaded into you, and then you start behaving like that. Before you go to the bed, let's say there was some financial issue that you've been discussing. The moment you wake up, suddenly you may find yourself very sad because that burden of that financial issue is still lingering on the mind. Or let's say last night you went to the bed with a very happy and a jovial mood. You are joking, smiling, having lots of fun with your family. In the morning when you wake up, you feel, oh, very nice, light. So what do you go to the bed with? In one sense, your deep sleep is a unconscious samadhi. Unconscious samadhi means what? Samadhi means what? Samadhi. Dhi means what? Intellect. Sama means there is equanimity. There is no up or down. So your intellect is in an equanimous state. During your deep sleep, you are in an equanimous state. There are no burdens. There is no up and down thought. You don't even know how long you are in that deep sleep state. But what is lingering? The ignorance that I am something is still lingering. I need something is still lingering. So the right jnana has not yet taken root in that yogi. So what did he ask? Water. So that is a effort-oriented samadhi. You have to do something to reach that. I have to keep on watching my breath. Or I have to keep on doing something. So doing something and getting into a state is good. Nothing wrong. It helps when the right recognition, when the right vichara also brought along with it. With the right vichara, the samadhi, which is an effort-oriented samadhi, can become sahaja samadhi. There's a difference between effort-oriented samadhi and a sahaja samadhi. Effort-oriented samadhi means what? To be peaceful, I have to do something, is effort-oriented. It may be wonderful. It may be very blissful. Oh, for almost like 20 minutes, I felt so lost, so completely refreshed. But now, see, again, I'm back. Oh, again, I feel agitated. So, which means that now I have to again put effort. So, whenever there is an effort and an outcome, it is not a natural thing. It is not natural, isn't it? So, recognition that your very nature is peace. Recognition that you don't have to do anything to be peaceful. Recognition that your very nature is bliss. And as that recognition becomes firmly established in you, then it is sahaja samadhi. That's why in the Upadeshasaram, Ramana Maharshi says, there is two kinds of, in the so-called samadhi, there are two kinds of samadhi. One is through temporary absorption of the mind. The temporary absorption of the mind can be thought analogous to a seed. A seed, if it is just kept in a jar without putting it into the mud and the water, it still retains the potency to become the tree. It still has the potency to become the tree. Let's say it's a mango seed. The moment you put it into mud and sprinkle some water, it starts sprouting. But it was a seed. But it has not lost its potency. This is a temporary absorption. This is effort-oriented samadhi, where temporarily you go into seed, meaning what? Peace, the state of peace. Whereas, if I take that very seed and fry it in, say, tawa, and now if I put it into mud and sprinkle water, will it sprout? It will not sprout. This has removed the potency of the seed to germinate again. Through right vichara, when you firmly recognize your own nature, then you are free from the doership, enjoyership, knowership burdens. And when those burdens are dropped, then the seed is not going to germinate. Meaning what? It is not going to be attached to the various situations of life. Now that seed is equivalent of the sahaja samadhi, because it's not going to germinate again. There is no more effort. Nothing can destroy the, in one sense, nothing in the world can make the seed germinate again. Or in other words, the peace is not something that can come and go. It is not a state anymore. It is your very nature all the time. Because you are now even free from the concept of the time. Because the very word state means there is a bondage of the time. You're free from time also. You're above the time. Is that bringing clarity to Shilpakalaji's question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, in the story, was he meditating through effort?
Yeah, in that story he was. Yeah. To illustrate the point.
Okay.
Effort means what? You know, there are so many yogic meditations now. So, yeah, hundreds of techniques are there. So therefore, whenever you have made peace as an outcome of meditation, it is an effort-oriented approach. Please understand, there's nothing wrong with it. It is not saying that it is not needed. It is not saying that it is not to be prescribed. But it is like, at what stage? To who? Padmaji, you are going to say something or ask something.
No, sir, I was just going to say that from what we understand is all the meditations lead to the same thing, but in the breath and other process that we start in the beginning stages, there is some effort needed. Whereas in Vedantic meditation, the point of focus is one thought or vichara, and then the right vichara is what brings clarity of who we actually are. And when we are situated in that, or when we are always established in that, then it is it's like we are always in meditation. Sahajasam.
Yeah. And there is no effort also. Once when the right vichara is introduced, it is not that I have to keep thinking, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. No. Once when you have recognized, it is like when you are a wife in front of your husband, have you forgotten that you are a mother to your child?
Correct. Yeah, that I think, sir, that is what I was trying to say. Like initially when I started with all this, maybe there was a lot of effort, and the Vedantic meditation is more effortless. Yeah, that's what I tried to say, but I didn't know how to say it. I get the clarity now. Yeah.
Sure, sure. So therefore, any tool can help you, provided right clarity is there. If a practice is given only as a practice without the right vichara, there are so many, for example, mantra upadesha, or some particular mystical practice that is taught. So any practice, any outcome of a practice is never complete, because you have to keep doing the practice. It cannot be natural. Because what is natural need not have to be practiced, no. Does the fire have to ever practice becoming fire? I have to practice more and more, then only I will produce more heat. No, its very nature is heat. So like that, the right vichara alone can free us from this illusion of a practice. So therefore, fundamentally, meditation is about non-doing, the non-doer, recognition of the non-doer. And recognition and being the non-doer is the object of any true meditation. In the non-Vedantic, practice is given such that you start experiencing being away from the vagaries of the mind. Okay, when I step back, I feel peaceful. You're stepping back. You're learning to step back from the situation of life. In a way, you are learning how to be a witness. It's a practice initially. You're learning how to be a witness in non-Vedantic meditation. Okay, it's okay. I will, if this thought comes, I will come back to the breath again or sensation again. So you're learning to be a witness. And through vichara, through Vedanta vichara, you realize that you are that. You're not the thoughts. You are above the thoughts. So you realize that. And Vedantic meditation is a very active process, like how we are contemplating now. This is Vedantic meditation. We have replaced all other thoughts with what is the right Vedantic thought. Here today we are contemplating on Vedantic meditation. What is it about? It is about the non-doer, about you. So Sarvanji has put a question. Is Vedantic, can I say Vedantic meditation and Nidhidhyasana are the same? So what is Nidhidhyasa? Nidhidhyasa. So to hold on to the treasure. Who is holding on to the treasure? Is a treasure something that the realization, is a realization something that is in the mind as a thought? Only if I keep on remembering that I am Brahman, that I'll be Brahman. No, Nidhidhyasa means realize that you are Brahman. Job done. I don't have to keep on reminding myself. But until it becomes a effortless effort, until it becomes a sahaja, just like how your name has become very sahaja for you. Until it becomes sahaja, you practice it through manana kriya, through shravana, and through nidhidhyasana. So therefore, Vedantic meditation, bahya nidhidhyasa, antar nidhidhyasa are given as practice. But the focus of the practice is not to continue to indulge you in practice. The focus of the practice is to enable you, to help you recognize that you are already that. There is nothing to be done. Nothing to be done. Nowhere to go. You are the non-doer. Recognition of that. To be established in that. So in that sense, you can say Vedantic meditation and Nidhidhyasana are different. In what sense? Vedantic meditation, when you think of it as a practice, it is different. Nidhidhyasa means what? Clear, crystal clear recognition of that truth. When you recognize, that's it. No, you're recognized. Fire burns. It is not that every time I have to put my hand to recognize that fire burns. I've recognized once, fire burns, job done. That is Nidhidhyasa. That realization, it is there. And here, what is the realization of Vedantic meditation? Is you. Recognize that I am the non-doer. And I am that. I am peace. So, as a practice, if you are thinking of Vedantic meditation as a practice, then Vedantic meditation and Nidhidhyasa are different. If you recognize that Vedantic meditation is nothing but having the right thought. What is the right thought? I am the non-doer. And the situations are not me, in the sense of I have the power to bring the right thought. And the situations are not me. Whatever thought that comes, I don't have to be worried. I can choose the right thought. So when you become established in your very nature, then Vedantic meditation and Nidhidhyasa are the same. They are nothing but different words to indicate to the same. That's why we keep saying, entire Vedanta is a pointer. Entire Bhagavad Gita is a pointer. All the statements of the Sadguru is a pointer. Pointer to what? Pointer to you, the true you. All practices are pointers to you. When I say all practices, let's be very clear. All spiritual practices such as breath awareness, Omkara Dhyana, Japa, these kinds of practices, I mean. But once when that truth has taken hold, any activity of life itself is a meditation. Because you're always in your sahaja, you're non-doer, you're not nothing else. So in that sense, then life itself becomes a meditation. Then you can say food meditation, sleeping meditation, walking meditation, talking meditation. So then coffee meditation, everything is a meditation. Shivaji is very happy with the coffee. Any other questions? Or any other statements?
I think Rupaji had a question, no?
Isn't Rupaji's question addressed? Rupaji, can you clarify?
Sir, I could not hear. Since the past half an hour, I was not able to concentrate. I was doing other chores at home, so I need to see the recording once.
Okay, yeah. But Shivaji, what do you think? What was Rupaji's question?
Yeah. It was on the similar lines like Shilpa Kalaji's.
Yeah. Padmaji, you have a Panchvakya to end this contemplation?
No, sir. I was just looking at the time and thinking, okay, we don't need a topic to. Yeah. And good, Shobha, you reminded, of the recording. Otherwise, today's session would have been like that day when you missed class, no? That day there is no recording. Yeah.
So, because some such sessions, no, when recorded, what it can do is, see, mystical experiences are experience. The very any experience is a temporary phenomenon. So in one sense, recording of experiences, sometimes you may see some maybe in some ashram or some class is happening, and you see people jumping up and down, tears and all that. So then subconsciously we start creating an impression that, oh, that is what I also need to experience.
Yeah.
Then I want to experience something becomes the goal of the spiritual practice.
Yeah.
So that can also bind.
It is true everywhere, I feel, sir, right? I mean, when we used to do the, the Reiki attunements and all used to happen, and there will be like once the practitioner or the person who attunes us, she just mentioned that suddenly out of nowhere, feathers fall in her house, a couple of feathers indicating that presence of angels or something like that she mentioned. And that became the goal of half the people who were there. Like they started writing in the chat like, oh, I don't have any feathers in my house, or their goal is to find feathers wherever they go. Yeah. Yeah, so then she had to clarify the next class that I am not trying to say that feathers will fall everywhere.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
wonderful. All right.
I remember sir telling us in the first.
Something. Sorry.
Yeah, I remember Vijayji saying in the first class, we won't get that chakra behind us for enlightenment.
The halo.
Yeah. Yeah, so sir, I was saying that Saravananji has put a couple of more sentences in the chat.
Yeah.
So I'll just read it out. So he,
Yes.
when you were explaining about the meditation, he and samadhi and all, he was saying this, like the example of pole vault.
Yeah.
Meditation is the tool and has to be dropped at one point.
Yeah.
That one doesn't need a tool again to be in the final state of oneness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, the practice leads to training the mind, like
Yeah.
taming the wild elephant.
Yeah.
Once mind gets used to it, one doesn't need practice anymore as the mind is trained with the truth.
Yeah.
And he says, I am reminded of the Bhramara Kita Nyaya.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also.
Brahmara Kita Nyaya means Brahmavid Brahmeva Bhavati.
Hmm.
The knower of the Brahman becomes Brahman only. What thought you give place to in your mind, you become that. Excellent.
So, sir, ideally, every thought should be replaced with the Atma Vichara thought only. That is the way for
No,
Chitta
but
Shuddhi
your
also,
son
right,
comes
sir?
to you, give me coffee, mummy. You say, I'm non-doer. You are also non-doer, no coffee.
No. I mean, like that is the way to eliminate lot of other unneeded thoughts, no, sir. Like
So-
the coffee is okay for the practical world. I need it just now, so I have to act.
Yeah.
But other thoughts I am saying, like even when you're preparing coffee, there is some other thoughts going on, no, which is not at all related to coffee.
Correct. So
those things have to be replaced with the right thoughts.
right thought. Correct. And once when this Atma Vichara, who I am, has taken root firmly, then it is not a matter of, I have to recollect. I have to keep thinking.
Yeah.
So that becomes your very nature. So from effort to effortlessness. Excellent. All right. So, shall we conclude? Or do we have...
It's 8:50.
Okay.
Vijayji,
Yes, Rupa.
I forgot about that Brahmara Kita Nyaya. Can you please explain once again?
Sure.
told
Padmaji,
in
you
the
want to say
past.
it?
No, sir. You can say it, sir. Not a problem.
Okay. So, Brahmara Kita Nyaya is, there is one story of a Dumbi. Dumbi, it has laid eggs and they have hatched now. Now little Dumbis are there. To feed them, it catches these Kitas. Okay. And they bring it and put it in its nest. And the Kita cannot escape. And how the Brahmara feeds the Kita to the babies is, it stings the Kita, and the other Kitas are seeing this Kita being stung, and the Kita, going through a lot of pain, and then dying, and then it's being fed. Okay, so that is what other Kitas are seeing. So now, by looking at this Kita is so afraid of the Dumbi. It is constantly thinking of this Dumbi. And the story goes that becomes a Dumbi only. One fine day when the Dumbi is about to see who to sting next, it finds only all Dumbis. This Kita also has become another Dumbi, and it flies away. So this is given to illustrate, you become what you constantly think. Simple. Whatever you think is what you become, is who you become. You became a wife after marriage, after constantly thinking how to act like a wife. Your society also gave you, this is how a wife should be, this is not how a wife should be. All that you took, and you had your own masala, and then you started acting like a wife. So you become what you constantly think. So Brahmavid Brahmeva Bhavati. So the knower of the Brahman therefore becomes Brahman only. The knower of the Brahman means what? Not in one passing statement. I mean, of course, one passing statement is also enough when it is ready. Otherwise, through the right Shravana, through the right Manana, as it is established, Brahmavid, knower of Brahman. Who am I? Brahmeva Bhavati. It's not that you are going to become Brahman because of the Vichara. Vichara clarifies that you are already that.
So similar is the case of this Kamsa and Ravana and all. No, they say that they got mukti
Yeah.
because I mean Krishna. Kamsa, although he was afraid of Krishna that he will kill, but
Yeah.
like he was constantly thinking of Krishna only all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the right context, but always thinking only of Krishna, even in the dreams, how to kill him, like that. So that is also become kind of a devotion only. Maybe not a right one, but yeah.
It is said like that only, correct? That upon killing, Kamsa was given the mukti, and he merged with Krishna, is how it is explained. Means what?
Yeah, because I think more than the things we love, no sir, the things that we hate, right? We keep thinking of that all the time.
So we should start hating Vedanta. We should start hating Bhagavad Gita. So
No, I think that is the nature of the mind, I feel. Yeah, like, yeah, you keep, magnifying those things.
Yeah.
Which you are not very comfortable with.
Yeah. But there is what is the essence there in that story? See, especially, when the mind, during the time of the death, as the subtle mind is, the subtle body is getting disengaged, conscious ability to direct the thoughts starts becoming less and less. So
Correct.
then predominant thought patterns take hold of you.
Yeah, at the last moments. Yeah.
Like the story of the Ajamela. So it is to kind of, indicate that. That doesn't mean that, you have to live life hating.
Yeah. No, the Brahmara Kita Nyaya, when I thought about it, this came.
Yeah. So, Rupaji, that's why, this picture. So something that you receive after doing something is a sadhana siddhi. You have to imagine that, you have to act for it, and you will have the outcome or the result. Let's say you decide to go to some fort and you want to visit, you've never visited. Then you have to first learn about it, how to go, where to go, how to book the ticket, so on and so forth. Then you are there. That's what you see on the left side of the picture, sadhana siddhi. Whereas truth or about you is not in the sadhana siddhi realm of things. It is jnana mukti. Knowledge clarifies, and knowledge helps to recognize what you already are. You are standing in the front of the palace, and you kept wondering, where is palace? Where is palace? For the first time you're visiting a palace, you're already there, and you ask somebody, where is this palace? Somebody just said, this is it. Then your illusion that I'm somewhere else is gone. So that is jnana and mukti. So Vedanta is in the realm of jnana mukti. Vedanta is only clarifying. Vedanta is not going to give a new siddhi. Is that clear, Rupaji?
Yes, Vijayji. Thanks.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So, Padmaji, shall we end with the prayer?
Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead me from untruth to truth, darkness to light, impermanence to permanence. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, That is complete. This is complete. From completeness comes completeness. When completeness is removed from completeness, what remains is complete. Om, peace, peace, peace. Nanu, nanenbadu nanalla, idehamana buddhi nanalla, sachidanandatma, shivananu nane, shivoham, shivoham, shivoham. I am not the body, I am not the mind. I am Satchidananda Swarupi Shiva. Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham.
See, when we negate like this, it may give an impression that it is something apart from me. But this is to help to recognize to point at the truth. So then, is body, mind, intellect separate from the truth? Not at all.
No, it is one and the same.
Is the world separate from you? No. You are the world. But you are not the world in the sense of, don't be attached to the changing names and forms of the world. In that sense, you are not the world. But your very nature is both this unchanging consciousness and this Shakti, Maya Shakti, which appears as names and forms.
Atmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Satyadarshanam. Recognition of the self is recognition of the whole. Recognition of the whole is recognition of truth.
Again, the same thing. First is Atmadarshana. Who am I? Then Brahmadarshana. What is this whole phenomena called Brahmanda? So realizing who I am and realizing what is this Brahmanda. It may appear in the beginning as two separate things. Me and the world and the God. So clarity about that is Satya Darshana. And they are not separate phenomena. They are not separate.
Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshi Yamamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshi Yamamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshi Yamamritat. We worship the three-eyed one who is fragrant and who nourishes all. Like the fruit falls off from the bondage of the stem, may we be liberated from death, from mortality. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy, healthy, peaceful. Hari Om. That's it. Hari Om, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Hari Om.
Thank you.
See you all
Thank you,
next time.
everyone.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om.